it's very much about being on, staying healthy and stuff like that. So Mahara should join us in any minute, and then we'll talk about all that, all the questions you guys will have, anything like that. She'll be able to answer it for you guys. I mean, I'm not qualified, but she is definitely. So stay tuned. What up, Kiki? What's going on? What up, Sawa? Bro, what's good? What's good? What's good? Yeah, so how's your Friday so far, though? Mike's in the house. Adis. What up, Dave? What's going on? ATX. So as soon as somebody come in, we'll talk about it. If you guys have any questions, you can definitely ask, and then we go from there. Salam, salam.
Hey.
What's going on?
Then long time.
Salam.
Can you see me good?
Yeah,
I know.
Huh?
Huh? Wait, that means I'm close. Then I'm far because I haven't been doing a good job.
Something like that.
Yeah, connecting. No, actually I've been, busy with school.
Back in school.
Yes. Trying to get this master's.
You're making me look bad now.
One day it's grinding time, as you say.
It's a go time, you know what I mean? It's a full squad. Yeah. You gotta get it. I can respect that.
Yeah.
So what's going on? What's new with you?
I mean, other than, just really been learning a lot, because, I want to get my nurse practitioner degree. Okay. So I'm working on that so that I can help young community.
Okay.
If we can, get a group of nurse practitioners, Habeshas, African American, then we can open up our own clinics, facilities, so we can treat, our people. Not just our people, but, we need that type of support.
We need that in our community.
Yes. I think it helps with trust, building trust with the community, which helps heal people. So that's the goal.
That's good.
So that's why I've disappeared. I have to read a lot.
No complaints.
Yeah. It's a lot of reading, but I did, last week when I reached out to you, I was like, oh my God, it's been a really long time.
That's been over a month.
Yeah, I figure it's time that we talk and do some education.
I'm glad you reached out.
Yeah, I'm glad too. You look good.
I try, Try to stay healthy.
I know, I can tell. You can tell somebody's health from their skin.
I can't do what I do with the studies, but I can do the workout.
I know, but you look good, and
thank you,
I can tell that you look good just from looking at you. So
work a lot of water.
I know you be drinking water, running every day. Very motivating and inspirational to us all. And you actually helped me a lot as far as, continuing my discipline journey, especially working out. But it takes a lot for me, at least,
Man, it's not easy with this heat.
Yeah.
It's too hot out here anyways.
It is. I do a lot of workout is at home. I rarely go outside.
Indoors.
But no excuses. So, just gotta get up and do it. Even when I feel the worst sometimes and I don't want to, because I'm tired, like studying and doing everything. But that's when I get up, because that's actually when, it matters when you don't want to.
That's true. I mean, that's, I always believe that, if you do sometimes work out, you get sometimes results. And if you want to stay fit and then, just once you start moving, try to continue getting better every day. So every time you miss a day, it seems like you're back, like you step taking 2-3 steps backwards.
Yep. And you know how hard it's gonna be. So it's like, oh God, I don't wanna, you know, and the kind of rasu miss madrag is like 1 week all of a sudden.
Yeah.
We got him like
one day becomes 2, 2 becomes 4.
Exactly.
A week, so.
Exactly. So, you know, Lezano, Zare, Manaurao, I don't know if we want to wait a little bit till people get in, or we can start.
Friday, you know, mid 6 p.m. Some
Exactly.
people have happy hours, some people are just happy in the house, you know what I mean? So,
oh, I like that.
However it works, you know what I mean? We just have to share the knowledge that we have.
Exactly.
And everybody could benefit from this. And I do appreciate you coming out and, you know, passing the wisdom and knowledge.
Yeah, no problem. Lene mira danyal actually, because, you know, a lot of mimaro, sila medical timert, and desi soon sitastamert, but you start understanding things a lot more. So by educating the community, and then benefit out of Galo. So I'm glad that we're doing this as well.
All right. Well, so, let's get started. What you got for us today?
So today, Manauro, sila nutrition and not disease prevention. Those hulatu, they kind of basically go hand in hand. Abro no, you know, how you treat your body is how it's going to treat you. You know, so as you know, Anta, Bazirai, you know, I don't know if you know what you're doing inside, like inside your cells. You probably don't understand the sunagar. Again, what you do just really affects maybe not how long you live, like meaning your age. Just because we, you know, exercise and all that stuff, it doesn't mean we're gonna live longer, because hulachinam genetically we have, you know, certain things that can cut away our life, or other environmental idala, like can get in an accident, just so many things can happen. And but by eating right, we help our body live well. Meaning disease prevention malet is by putting in the right vitamins that help our cells. For example, every day, adults, we lose about 10 billion cells a day. You kill 10 billion cells a day.
How many do we have?
Like 30 trillion. It's too much. But the body like regenerates. So what happens is the body like goes into, but I don't want to go into detail about it, but whatever we're doing, especially depending on our environment, or like if there's pesticides, for example, lazano organic, is different than what we get from the store that, you know, a big farm grew using chemical and not pesticide. And over time, what happens is our cells disrupt. They go into this thing called oxidative stress, meaning too much of the oxygen goes into the cell and you cannot produce enough energy. So electrolytes imbalance, like potassium, sodium, magnesium, calcium. So when that happens, your cells die. When they die, it causes inflammation. ሰውነታችን ውስጡ ሲጎዳ በውጭ ማየት አንችልም። እንደ ቁስል you know, ጅህን ብትቆረጥ
we see this too late, isn't it?
Exactly. So ምንድነው happen የሚሆነው በውስጣችን ሴሎቹ ሲሞቱ inflammation process ይመጣል ማለት the body has to get rid of those cells that are dying. So once that inflammation process happens, even though our body's trying to help us, it attacks our own blood vessels, you know, different organs. And so you produce mucus. Exactly. So someone who makes a lot of mucus, actually, I don't know if you've heard of like Dr. Sebi.
Yeah, I heard of him.
Yeah, Nipsey Hussle talks about him a lot. One of the things,
Honduras, right?
Yes. So one of the things he talks about is mucus, because mucus production. So someone, like anumulu hakta kalla, I think that's what it's called. Like, you know, whatever we spit up, hakata, or beniftachen, you know, too much nift so, or like other body parts like mucus lose sinadag, that means sonatachin is not in a good state. And I can speak to this honestly fact, because over the last 3-4 years personally, I had to change buzu nagaroch about my lifestyle. When I did that, I literally, my mucus production, sinus infections, buzu nagarin nabaring bafit, it started going down. Like I have not had a sinus infection or anything for the last like 3-4 years. How did I do that? The question is, how do we do that? The biggest thing is nutrition. If our environment and is introducing, first of all, UV light, the sun, that damages our cell. That's why buzu soch, you know, if you're outside too much, you know, especially if you're Caucasian, you can get skin cancer. Doesn't mean Tokor people can have skin cancer too, because it's damaging cells. So you have pesticides, you have UV light, you have, on top of all of that we don't think about, then we introduce matfo migab, fast food. And fast food has a lot of pesticides. So what happens is, as soon as sonatachin, it doesn't like that type of nutrition. It will use it because it has to produce new cells. It has to produce energy. So whatever you give it, it will use, but the byproduct, after using that, what gets left behind in your body causes a lot of issues, like yelib dekam, heart disease, dam gafit, like we talked about on the last session that we had, and stroke, kidney failure, kulalit failure. If you're drinking alcohol, that's another thing. Excess alcohol, manos de kohona. Our liver actually goes into the production of more cholesterol. Masrati jamara. People who drink too much alcohol, basically they get, you know, if you have like a belly, like sometimes we see this a lot in our men. Benya Bahabasha community, buzu wandoch እንደዛ ታያለ. A big belly, that is like very dangerous. ለሴቶች, if you're gaining weight on your thighs, like ከግራቸው ወይ like ከጎን ላይ በጣም ክብደት መጨመር ከጀመርነ, we actually become more risk for diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease. So what happens? Why you're seeing the belly? Because the liver goes into a process where it's no longer, instead of doing its job, you know, it basically starts accumulating cholesterol, and it's called fatty liver. Fatty liver malet, fatty liver can actually lead to a lot of other problems. Again, ሁሉ ነገር የሰውነታችን እግዚአብሔር ሲፈጥረን ሁሉ ነገር የተያዘ ነው. You cannot impact one thing of your body and leave the rest. It's like, you know, the book that you recommended, I've been reading, The Compound Effect. It's just like that. So everything we're doing to our body, everything we're putting in, if we're not cautious, if we don't think about it, like next time, ምግብ ስትገዙ, think about it. Say, does this have chemicals in it? If I eat the chemicals, ምንድን ነው የሚሆነው ሰውነቴ? ሴሎቼ ማየት አችልም. 10 billion, I just told you, 10 billion die in a day. And depending on, is it a good death? So there's different kinds. የሴሎች አሟሟት አለ. የጥሩ, like naturally እግዚአብሔር የፈጠረው, you know, way that our cells die, so that a new one can be brought into, you know, can be grown inside your body. There's another way too, where it causes a leaking of chemicals, toxic chemicals. That's the one that is very dangerous to our body and causes a lot of sickness. Okay. It doesn't even matter if I list them all here. that's where disease prevention starts. You and I, you're big on prevention. What can we do to prevent?
Yeah.
We have to stay away from chemically processed foods. It is hard. Trust me, I know I myself have a challenge with it, but it's not about one big change one time. It's about, you know, ትናንሽ change እያደረግን ከምንበላው, maybe even eating like spinach, just for, you know, start with spinach, start with something that helps the body fight these what it's called is radicals, free radicals.
Okay.
Free radical ማለት hydrogen, the body takes oxygen and converts to hydrogen peroxide. You know hydrogen peroxide? We use it whenever somebody has a cut. If you have a cut, yeah.
It's coming
in the brown,
right?
yes. So the body naturally produces it a little bit whenever it's doing its own mechanism. But when we eat pesticides and we eat other, you know, bad chemicals that we introduce to our body by eating fast food, by eating inorganically grown ምግቦች, chemical ያላቸው, then the body starts producing hydrogen peroxide inside. And if you notice, when you have a cut, for example, cuts ሲኖርህ hydrogen peroxide ስታደርግበት, it bubbles.
Bubbles, yeah, kind of like
yes, because
a little bit and stop.
Yes, so
yeah.
exactly, that's called an oxidative state. So inside, imagine what's happening with hydrogen. If you just saw it on the outside, what it does to the cell, that's what happens inside when we're eating foods filled with chemicals and not enough antioxidant. So what is the prevention? The prevention to free radical, like everything that I just said, is eating a lot of fruits filled with antioxidants. One of the major antioxidants is vitamin E. So vitamin E, it's basically a fat soluble vitamin. If you can actually overdose, because I'll explain why on vitamins, how you can overdose, because there's two different groups. There's bohwa mimama vitamin aለ. I think I said that right. The water soluble. mimama ውሃ የሚጠቀም. So በውሃ የሚጠቀም vitamin ሰውነታችን ምንድን ነው? Vitamin B complex. From B1 to B12. There's too many if I sit here and tell you, but they deal with energy, how our body makes energy. They deal with anemia. So if you are anemic, you need to get the doctor to check your vitamin B levels. They go hand in hand because it helps with the red blood cell. የቀይ ደም ሴሎችን ለመስራት ይረዳል. The other one is one of the vitamin B's is thymine. Thymine is very, very important. And if you are an alcoholic, if you drink too much alcohol, then you lose the ability to make thymine, which is very important for your brain. So the way, if you notice, በጣም ሰካራም የሆነ ሰው, what happens? If you take away alcohol, you know what happens? They shake. They can't control nothing because the vitamin, one of the vitamins, thymine, they have a deficiency. They have a deficiency in folate. Folate, that one helps with cell rebuilding. ሴሎችን እንደገና, you know, rebuild ለማድረግ የሚረዳ ነው። እርጉዝ ሴትም የሚወስደው ነው to prevent የጭንቅላት disorder. So alcohol, anything in life, or alcohol, whatever it is, extreme ስንወስደው ሊጎዳን ይችላል. So fat soluble vitamins, vitamin A, which is good for your eye, vitamin D, which is bones, vitamin E, and K. K helps you with being able to clot. So someone who doesn't have enough vitamin K, they can bleed a lot. They may have bleeding problems. So
this thing's like on you mentioned the vitamins, B's, the A's, and the K.
Yeah.
Do we get those like from natural fruits and vegetables?
Yes, that's why it's very, very important how you supplement ማወቅ አለብን። ዝም ብለን just because በኮመርሻል ስላየን or whatever የሄድን ክኒን መውሰድ የለብንም። You need to know your body, what's missing. Vitamin A, D, E, and K are fat soluble. That means ከፋታችን ሴል ውስጥ እንደዛ ገብተው ነው የሚሰሩት. Without fat, they don't work. So it's easy to overdose. ገባ? Because ቶሎ ሰውነታችን አይጠቀመውም። ከፋት ውስጥ ስለሚቀመጥ ከፋት ሴሎች እኛ ጨምረን ስንወስድ we overdose ourselves. Water soluble በውሃ የሚሟሟ ቫይታሚኖች which means ሰውነታችን በሽንት ቶሎ we get rid of it. The vitamin B, that's why you can have, if you took vitamin B supplements, it's not going to be easy to overdose unless you're just crazy and you took a whole bunch, Band-Aid.
For example, like people like me, I might be I'm almost against everything which doesn't grow. Like anything made out of lab, I'm not into it.
Right.
How can we get this?
You're going to have to eat a lot. I mean, the reason there is supplements is because sometimes we cannot gain. Like you'd have to eat a lot of spinach and kale, and all the B vitamins are in green leafy vegetables, beans, things like that. If you're a vegetarian, one thing, vitamin B12, you cannot get it. That's very dangerous.
What is vitamin B12 made out of?
So vitamin B12 only comes from meat. And animal. It's just the way the body makes it, the animal body makes it. So if you want to be a true like vegetarian where you don't have any meat, you better be supplementing vitamin B12. That will, even a doctor will tell you, because you're not getting it like you should, because you don't eat meat products. Do you see what I'm saying? Like there's certain things where you can get it from fruits and vegetables, and you cannot, you have to get it from meat, which is, one of it is B12, the biggest one.
Yeah. The reason why I'm asking that is like, I'm sure maybe other people can be related to that, is some people don't like to take medicine or vitamins, anything like that. They just want to keep it natural. Eat vegetables and fruits, exercise regular, you know what I mean? And stay away from anything produced in the lab.
Which is fine. You can do that. But I hope you're taking like 6 juices of, the NutriBullet. I hope you're drinking green juice 6 times a day.
I eat anything green.
I'm saying the consumption, like, I don't know how to explain it, but you would need to eat like one of the vitamins, basically. You might need to eat 100 things of broccoli just to get your daily value.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, I understand what you're saying. I'm not trying to challenge science. I'm not trying to challenge your knowledge. But what I'm saying is like before human created all these vitamins, we survived on this earth without it.
That's true. That's true. So, but they also died quickly.
Huh?
Lifespan actually has really increased. And the US actually is declined down because there's too much fast food. But በድሮ ጊዜ የድሮ ሰዎች ሲኖሩ, actually there was a lot of diseases happening because they didn't understand about vitamins. One of them, for example, is vitamin C. People used to have bleeding gums back in the day because they didn't know that they needed to eat citrus food, oranges, lemon, all of those things. So how did we learn about these things? Because people were getting lack of certain nutrition, sinata. So sitamam no. For example, if you look at starvation, when people are starving, you see their hodacho yinafal, right? Because when you don't have enough protein synthesis, the liver cannot break down protein. You can no longer have this molecule called albumin. So if you look at like children who have been starving, their belly gets really big because they cannot control fluid. So a lot of the things that we learn, I believe in natural things as well. The only vitamins I supplement, is vitamin B because I cannot get enough of it. That's the problem. Like my body, I cannot get enough of it. So I supplement vitamin B complex, and I also supplement vitamin D because I don't like milk. And also, like, for me as a female, those two vitamins are important. So you don't have to take multivitamin every day. You know, people sometimes they take like 5-6 times different things.
Yeah, my thing is like most of these vitamins, you know, I mean, so-called vitamins or nutrition, whatever they are, like, you know, there's always some type of side effects. How can we prevent that?
The side effects from the vitamins? So first of all, you need to know where you're getting your vitamin. One of my favorite ones that I use is from a company called Alive, because I look at it and if it's laboratory tested, and I just want to make sure it is what it is, right? I also choose vitamins that are vegan, so they come from vegetables. So it's just powdered, basically powdered, you know, dried broccoli and put it into a capsule.
That's why it confused me. Like, if we can get it from broccoli, instead of taking the pill, why can't we just eat broccoli?
Because I cannot eat 100 broccolis in one day.
So, like, to get
the same amount.
So you gotta eat like that many?
Yes. So the reason is because, again, you have to think about water soluble, fat soluble. I don't take a lot of fat soluble vitamin because I know I'm getting enough and I don't need to. But water soluble vitamin, when you're drinking a lot of water, you're peeing out a lot of the vitamins that you think you got from the vegetable. Because your body, that's what it naturally does. It doesn't, the B vitamins don't stay inside your fat cell. They're in the water. So your kidney, it makes you pee. If you drink a lot of water, especially, it will get rid of all those vitamin C, vitamin B, the B, all the B12, B1 to B12 vitamins, all of them. So your body will get rid of them. So how can we, like one of the vitamins, I believe is B6. If you don't have enough of it, you actually, one of the symptoms is cracked lips. Like the lips are cracked and the mucous membrane inside the mouth can be drier, and the tongue gets smooth and bigger. See, people don't know this. Even your tongue can tell you what you're missing, what vitamins are you're lacking. See, if you cannot heal, for example, you're missing vitamin C, because vitamin C helps you heal, helps you get better faster, helps your white blood cells. If you don't have enough of vitamin C, like I said, did when you're brushing. So there's signs that our body shows that we basically have to, you know, pay attention to. Not all of the, you know, vitamins are good. And I think they use it. It's a big industry where they make money off of everybody who's, you know, our weaknesses. We want a quick fix. Tolo, you know, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in going to drugs quickly if I can prevent it. Now, once you're there, there's no way of reversing tolovila in a day. You have to take medicine first, like someone who has high blood pressure. They may need to start with a little bit of medicine, but then they may also have to exercise, stop eating so much salt, because if you drink salt, eat salt, you drink a lot more water, which makes your blood pressure go up.
So, like, no matter what we do, like exercise again, eat right and diet, to get by the B6 and B12, we have to take.
Exactly. Especially if you're, my biggest thing today is if you are vegetarian, B12. So B12, you're not getting it.
I'm gonna eat because for once a month.
I mean, once a month, that's not going to be enough. Okay. But if you don't want to eat, that's why, you know what I believe, honestly? This is just my own personal belief. Why don't we ever reach for balance? Why does the human body or human brain want to go from one extreme to the other?
I mean, it's just, I guess everybody's different for it, but I believe that some people don't get satisfied in certain things. You know what I mean? You want more. That's just human nature.
But
something tastes good, something looks good, you want more.
true, but in life, in even in nature and sitai, it's about balance, right? For spring to come, what has to happen?
Spring, summer, fall, all
Things
the
must,
seasons. Yeah.
yes. Our body is no different than nature itself. When we go from one extreme to the other, we cause disruption in our body. That's why I believe everything is based on the person, individualized. I think that supplement, the best thing to do, like what I did, was I went to my doctor. I said, I want my labs taken to check what am I missing in my body. Because there's no need for me to take is you're wasting money, number one. And number two, your body may not even need it.
So it's like sometimes when somebody walk up to you and say, you know what, I use these vitamins or this supplement, they're really good for me. That doesn't mean that's going to be good for you, right? So you have to go to the doctor.
You have to go to the doctor. You have to see your blood chemistry.
Okay.
Your blood chemistry is very important, because if you don't know, that's what's nice about now, the day and age we live in now. We have ability to go get a blood drawn. We can check our cholesterol level, our potassium, all the electrolytes. For example, if you have low potassium or calcium, you may have yelib tirita changes.
Okay.
So someone who's always like palpitation, has too many palpitations, they may need to go check. Maybe they're drinking too much water and they're getting rid of, some of the electrolytes that they need to help their heart beat. Even if you take too much, for example, potassium, calcium, your muscles will stop working. Like they get flaccid. They cannot contract anymore. And you can have a heart attack and you can die. Like those are the type of patients they usually treat the madak, because they have enculalit failure, causes them to be in imbalance. When I say extreme, they are like the people who are very like go from normal to high because they cannot pee. Okay. Right? Their kidneys, our kidneys regulate everything. So you don't want to educate someone. That's why we have to be careful when we talk to people. What's good for you may not be good for me. What's good for, somebody I'm talking right now, they could have kidney failure. I don't know. I can't tell, that person supplement.
Yeah.
So it's bad for them.
So the best thing to do is like, don't be loyal to a brand. Just go get checked. And
then figure out what it is you're missing.
Mm-hmm. Just for you, right? Not for because some people, like, for example, I heard people say A1 or some other brand is good. This is bad. This is, like based on the experience, of course. But
right.
Yes, the best answer to get is that you have to go to the doctor, get checked, and the doctor will, subscribe whatever is good for you.
Exactly. And of course, like I see DNA saying, your body should tell you the keys to listen to your body. Not everybody knows the language that the body is giving them.
That's true.
Your body does speak to you, but if you don't understand the language, like I know the language that I'm having tightness in the chest and my stomach doesn't feel well, I know that I'm stressed out. Mm-hmm. I know those are symptoms that my brain is, sending the signals, but that's because I know that. Someone who doesn't know that, there's one topic I want to talk about. Chagwara Bashita. The Habesha community
is excited about talking about that.
Yes. The Chagwara Bashita is our number one thing, I think, in our community for regular people. And why is that? What causes that, right? So I learned something. There's two different kinds. The symptoms are the same. Hodachin, like you feel uncomfortable, you cannot sleep, lay down, right? That's what it's called, the reflux.
Yeah.
So there's two things. One, it could be because you don't have enough hydrochloric acid, which helps you with digestion. Breakdown and matter. So genetically, if you do not produce enough hydrochloric acid, you can have the same symptom as, someone who has yeah. The other cause is the opposite. You make too much acid. So whenever you eat something, especially wada matano, chiguru yalla. Matalai, because digestion is slow, linnetanya sinil, badam digest mugu sila wada like, it comes up.
Okay.
So too much acid, it's very dangerous, guys. This is why hydrochloric acid, it does not belong in your esophagus. Okay? So Yenya community buzu, one of the ways that they've been dying is cancer, esophageal cancer, yehod cancer. Buzu Yenya so mimoto is because they don't understand what's happening to their body. When acidu hulle maschagar kohonandaza, we have to find a solution, because የውስጡን ሴሎችን ዳሜጅ ያደርገውና በሌላ ሴል ሪፕሌስ ያደርገዋል። ሪፕሌስ ያደርገው ወደ ካንሰር ይቀየራል። የአንጀት ደግሞ ካንሰር is the worst kind. It's very hard to survive, because the only way to get rid of that is to take out አንጀቱን ወይ ሆዱን, and how does a person gonna live?
And survive without him, right?
Exactly. So what is the prevention? I actually had a problem for like, oh my God, like since I was 17. Mine started when I was 17. It was genetic. What happened is, ከሆዳችን ወደ ላይ ስትሄድ የሆነ ምግብ በልተህ ዳይጀስሽን ሊያደርግ ሲል ይዘጋዋል። ማስል አለ እንደዚህ ይዘጋዋል። then ምግቡ will digest so that አሲዱ ወደ ላይ እንዳይሄድ ማለት ነው። So part of my problem was when I went to the doctor, because በጣም ያመኝ ነበር, and መድኃኒት ምንም, like nothing was helping me. I couldn't even eat food one day. Like I lost so much weight. I was 90 pounds at one point. It will take you down. When it takes you down, like I swear, you'd be like, you can't eat nothing. You can't swallow because throats, it will get swollen because of all the acid erosion. So the muscle is not closing for me. I found that out. But then guess what happened? You guys will love this. The doctors thought I was making too much acid. That was the problem, they said. So guess what they did? They gave me medicine to suppress the acid. I didn't heal for like years. I just take it and like candy every morning. Like I wasn't healing. And I said, what the heck? Like, this doctor is supposed to know what's wrong with me. Like, something is not right, When I did our body doesn't produce enough acid. So enough acid produce marag, so like you just put them in danger. Right? So acid ደግሞ ከሌለ, guess what? መጥፎ ባክቴሪያ ያድጋል ከጨጓራችን ውስጥ. Then you get sick. ሌላ በሽታ ያመሃል. So I found out, and I actually started, I did it the natural way. You can do it two ways. The other way is, one way is I took, actually, I'm not telling anybody else to take it. I just did it. Disclaimer. Don't go over there and do what I did. Do your research first. So first, what I did was I took apple cider vinegar. Every morning.
I drink that every morning.
Dude, but only if you need it. You see, you got to be careful. Because if you don't need it, guess what it causes? It causes your intestine, the large intestine, to slow down. If you do too much. So it can be good, it can be bad. So you have to be very careful, and
balance everything out.
Yeah, you have to know what you're getting yourself into. So I did በውሃ ነው የኔ የበረስኩት 8 ounces of water. Don't ever drink it straight.
Yeah, no, I was always,
Yeah, there's people that do that. You know that. Because ጥርስህን damage ያደርጋል, ሆድህንም damage ያደርጋል.
Yeah, my question is like all these things like on አንቺ የምታወሪያቸው እነዚህ የምትነግሪኝ ነገሮች very interesting and very nice. You know what I mean? Like the average human, how are we supposed to understand this every day? Like literally, like everything we eat and drinks can affect us in the long run, right? So
Right.
for the person like who walk and talk normal, who think like I'm not overweight,
Right.
don't have a hard time breathing, like how do they know all? I mean, it seems like simple, supposed to just eat and leave, but you have to watch every little thing. How are we supposed to know like what to prevent, what not to prevent, or what's too much or what's too less? How can we get all this information?
That's a very good question. Because one thing that we talked about is the importance of going to the doctor at least once a year as we get older. If you're young, you don't really have to go once a year. You can go every other year. Because mindano, yana appointment, it may seem like pointless, right? You're not yana appointments in the head. Minifaligo is not the doctor to just tell us what to do. We need to take our result. We have to understand, ask the doctor, what does this mean? What am I not having enough of? That's how you're going to know the balance of your body, number one. Number two, if you cannot go to the doctor, try to eat a balanced diet. What is a balanced diet? Protein, vegetables, and some healthy fat. What is healthy fat? Like, I think Zelisha one time talked about these oils, avocado oil, anything that has omega-3 from fish. You can get it from, salmon. So everything is about proportion. If you do one thing too much, like if you eat too much fish, you can have mercury poisoning because fish has mercury. And if you have mercury poisoning, your system can mess up. No, it's literally like if you're going to eat meat, if you're a meat eater, you should be this much, the palm of your hand. No more than that every day. More vegetables, 2 hands. I'm making this as simple as possible. Whatever vegetables you're eating, eat this much. Literally mix it up, or you can use a food scale if you want.
I mean, we talk about the average people. I mean, we're not talking about hard work, dedicated, work hard gurus.
Average people, my message then to average people is if you're sick, if you don't feel good, even as little as a headache, you have a headache, you have body ache, you have whatever, something simple all the time, ask yourself, write a journal. What are you doing? Every day, what are you eating? This doesn't take time dedicate. I think the question is, your life-action value, mindano. Ask yourself that. The cost of going to the hospital is very high, I promise you. Once you get to ICU, Cedar Sandeso, 10,000 per day on that bed. Which if you die, now it goes to your family. So we need to let that sink in, and understand when we don't feel good, whether it's mentally, physically, find out what are you doing every day. There's something you're doing that's causing those things, or something is around you in your environment. If people are stressing you out, you produce a lot of, stress hormones inside. Just being around somebody, there's people like you just don't want to be around them because enerjacho antan rasu. You get angry. When you get angry, Sonata releases a lot of methyl hormones that attack your blood vessel. So now you're on a journey to high blood pressure. So it's really about, what am I doing? It doesn't take a scientist, really. The rest of the stuff is science.
It doesn't take science, but take a lot of focusing.
It's not even focus. It's how much do you love yourself? Ask yourself that. Do you love yourself enough to do these things? Number one. Number two, ለቤተሰቦች ይሁንም ወይም ለሚስት ለባል ለልጆች, you cannot give them if you don't have. An empty cup cannot fill somebody else.
That's true.
So your health should be number one priority. I changed my life because not just for myself. I changed my life because number one, I got tired of suffering. Suffering had to end. I was like, I don't want to live with this agwara problem, sinus problem, and all of this issues. I got tired. I'm skinny, right? You've known me all my life, but I was suffering literally on the inside, mentally, physically, because I was putting junk in my body. I didn't want to get up and do the work because I'm like, I'm skinny. Why do I need to get up and exercise?
Yeah, I mean, we feel like when we see like our body being very slim and fit.
I could care less about my body. Like for me, my journey is because this up here stays in peace when I work out, number one. So I'm peaceful to my family, to my daughter, to my husband. Like I'm much a better person when I work out. The other thing, I don't have any more chagwara problem. Working out got rid of it. Accident. Exactly. So if we make the change, the reward is there. Don't make the change, the consequence is there.
So you very much got to balance it out somehow.
It is one. Like, why did you change? You have to ask yourself, right? The biggest question to oneself is why? Why should I do this? What is my reason? And your reason has to be very, 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 very impactful. It has to be, meaningful. Lanta minim, like energy kalseta, your reason is not good enough then. You need a stronger reason. If coming to the ICU and dying is not a good enough reason, then honestly, I don't know what can help our people.
Well, I do appreciate you. You gave us a lot of knowledge. We have about 10 minutes, so we need to give people, I guess, a question and answer time because we could talk about this all day.
We could.
It's Friday.
This is the ongoing.
Like I said, it's Friday, so some people are at the happy hour, some people are just at the hour.
They learned something about the liver today.
Exactly. We need to. I apologize to everybody. I didn't say hi to a lot of y'all. Hello, everybody. If you guys, there's a couple of questions I believe in the question box. I'll open those up, and then within the next 10 minutes, we can answer those questions to the best of your ability, of course. And for those of you who ask if I'm a doctor, no, I'm not a doctor. She's a professional. I'm just here to host.
Yes, and I'm not a doctor either.
She's not a doctor either. She's
I'm a nurse. I'm going to be a nurse practitioner.
Yes. So do your own research as well. Take the information and do your own research, all right? We got a couple of questions here.
Okay.
First one is
mucus and disease, and how can we reduce mucus in our body? Okay, so mucus, hi Mimi, by the way. So mucus, again, the production is because ውስጣችን የሆነ ችግር አለ. There's something going on. Mucus is the byproduct. በአማርኛ byproduct ምን እንደሆነ አላውቅም. It's like what happens next.
Okay.
When something bad in your body is happening, the next thing is mucus. How does that happen? Because, for example, quick example, ቁስል ካለ, if you cut it, what happens on the outside? It gets red. It gets like oozy. If it's an infection, it gets really bad. So just imagine inside እንደዛ ሆኖ ነጭ ሴሎች መጠው ያንን clean up ሊያደርጉ ሲሉ mucus ነው result. The byproduct is mucus. So when you're coughing up, that means you're either smoking or around smoke or some kind of environmental problem. Okay. Your lungs, you're breathing in something. If you are, your nose, same thing, whatever you're breathing in, right? So figure out what you're allergic to, figure out what you're eating. Are you allergic to food, certain foods? To do that, you have to go to the doctor, again, to find the allergy test.
Okay. Second question we have is, what's your opinion about blood type?
Meaning, like, we have different types for a reason.
I guess different blood types supposed to affect your body differently?
I think they try to really use that. I've heard of some things that, depending on your blood type, you may have a hangout disease or you cannot get this disease. Blood type, the most important thing about it is that we can give it to whoever is the right recipient when you are losing blood. And blood type, ከብላድ ውስጥ ምንድን ነው ያለ? Hemoglobin, አይደለ? Iron, plasma. So it helps you carry oxygen. That's the main thing about blood, why we have it. It helps things move. It's like a highway. ከሃይዌይ ላይ መኪናው ማለት ደም red cells ናቸው. So there's not, I don't like that area of people. They try to use that a lot, like depending on your blood type, eat this type of food and you don't get sick. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Brother DNA got a question for you. Can't you live without food?
Okay, I know he's tricky how I answer this. Right. From what I know, this doesn't mean I don't know everything. That's what I know. Okay. So from what I know, whenever you don't eat, your body goes into your liver for the glycogen, the reserve. The next thing that the body has to do is smart. It says, let's eat up all the muscle. You start eating yourself. So if you don't put nothing in your body, eventually just imagine your body will eat itself to death if it has to. So it's kind of a weird cycle.
I know you have to keep it professional, but tell DNA you cannot leave without food. You got to eat some type of food.
You really, I've heard of some crazy stories like that they didn't eat for this many days or something. I dare you to try. No, I'm not gonna say that. Just don't try it. Don't try it. Just leave that alone. Eat good and live a happy, balanced life. Okay, what do you say about alkaline water? So alkaline water.
I don't know about this too, because a lot of people talk about this type of water.
First of all, let me tell you, I had one trainer and he was selling this alkaline water. One of his friends. He's like, "Oh, this is the best pH, blah blah blah." And I said, okay, give it to me. You know what I did? Obviously, I work in dialysis, so I have pH strips. I can check the water. I tested it. I said, this isn't alkaline. So most of the time, it's just people telling you it's alkaline. You need to test it. So
how can we test it? We don't have access to it.
You better buy a pH strip from Amazon. I don't know. But you got to test. Alkaline water tends to be heavy because there's more certain minerals in there. So it makes the water heavy when you drink it. And it's really about the pH in our body. Our body pH likes to stay normal pH, 7.35 to 7.45 now. Okay. So they try to say the more, alkaline ውስጣችን ከሆነ, the less chance for us to get sick, because acidic ሲሆን ደማችን, that's when we're sick. But either way can be a problem. Okay. Again, balance.
Okay, there's another one here about alkalis.
Well, alkaline foods help prevent or cure diseases. Again, if you go into alkaline state, here, but I'm deep pathophysiology, it's going to get really confusing. So you either 7.35 to 7.45. If I get a patient who's greater than 7.45, the blood, then I have to do something to fix them, to bring them back into normal, because it can actually cause a problem. So if you're too alkaline, if you're too acid, but okay. So does it cure? Everybody says a lot of things, try to sell you, right?
But it doesn't cure.
I really, I believe in balance cures. Figure out balance. Don't go from extreme to extreme.
Okay. That's this one right here. What's that sound?
Most of the time I'm bloated. What do you think is going on with me? So if you're bloated, especially, okay, there can be a couple of things. Now, remember, I am not a doctor, so I cannot give you a medical diagnosis, but I can tell you what I have seen, with patients. For females, if you have too much bloating, make sure you check your ovaries. Have your OBGYN check your ovaries, because if you have cysts in your ovaries, it can actually give you a lot of GI symptoms like bloating, nausea, so you see, it's two different situations, right? The other thing can be you don't have enough, like I said earlier, like you don't have enough acid, so the food breakdown ማድረግ ስለማይችል ሆዳችን ጋዙ ምግቡ ይቀመጥና ባክቴሪያዎች they make a gas, so ሆዳችን ይነፋል.
Okay.
So it could be different things, but again, you need to go and check and specifically ask to get your ovaries checked if you're a female. And
all right. Well, I think that was the last question. We have less than 2 minutes, so
okay.
I'll give you one. I'll give you a minute and a half, and I'll take another minute. What's the best advice that you can give us? Do we need to do every day just to make sure that we're okay?
Small, healthy, smart choices every day.
That's a lot.
That's what I learned from even the compound effect. It sounds like a lot, but the little things you do every day add up to equal something great. A healthy body, a healthy mind, a healthy spirit. So little things. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't strive for perfection.
Don't be stressful.
Yeah. Don't strive for it to be perfect. That also is another, problem. So one day at a time is the message.
And behalf of everybody else in there and me, thank you as always. I appreciate you. Proud of you. Like I always say, man, I'm very, very proud of you. Came a long way. Keep up the good work. I appreciate you coming out here. Education us each and every time you come up. You bring us good points. I always feel like every time I talk to you, I feel like I'm 2 steps behind. I learned something new. I have to always update things, so I do appreciate that, and I do appreciate all the challenges and all that. So
thank you so much, Wandam, and thank you guys. And I'll be back with another exciting information
a week or 2
or suggestion kalla lanta ingaru, so then I can do something that they want to hear about too.
Sure. I think like somebody suggested a couple of weeks ago about mental health. I don't know if
again. Okay, we can do that.
If you have some information, because the time is very stressful nowadays. So
yes,
so,
let's do that next. How about that?
Yeah, just let me know when you can do it, and then we can make it happen.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you, dear. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You be safe. Pass
all
the
right,
greetings to the family.
Okay, I will. You do the same.
I got you. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Marty gave us a lot of good information. Take that information. I hope you guys learn as much as I did. Put your own research on that and get some knowledge. And I appreciate you guys. I have to get out of here to spend some time with the family, but I'll catch you guys later on with Alazar should be on later on, so I'm gonna see you guys later tonight, all right? Thank you and be safe. I'm out.